Thank you everybody for coming. This is our 11th annual Big Idea Pitch Contest. So we have 12 finalists today that have competed against almost 40 contestants to be here. And we posted all of the videos up on a website where anybody in the public could vote. The most popular vote received over 4,000 votes. And so we had 3 categories, and those categories were nonprofit, non-tech-based, and tech-based concepts. And each of the popular vote winner in each category got $100 and an automatic entry into the finals. So just to do a quick run through of the rules again, pitches are 90 seconds. As you approach the 90-second mark, I will let you finish the sentence you're on, and then I'll chime in and cut you off after that. I won't be able to be there to give you a 10-second warning, so you'll be responsible for managing that yourself. Q&A will try and keep to about 2 to 3 minutes. And like I've mentioned, judges will go off into a separate room and deliberate and make sure that they have the ranking in accordance to how they judged it and they would like it. So we will announce winners tonight after that brief break. And now I'd like to introduce and thank all of our judges for being here and spending the evening with us. So first we have Uloj Sekel from Wells Fargo. Been there a little over 6 years and is a business specialist. So thank you, Uloj, for being here. Next, we have Casey Kidwell. Casey's an attorney at Hush Blackwell, and he works with startups and does a ton of other stuff in the community. And we've worked closely with Hush Blackwell before, and he's been there a little over 3 years. Thank you for being here, Casey. Next, we have Brandon Warrington, also from Hush Blackwell as an associate. We've worked with he and Casey and some other folks from Hush Blackwell to do a number of the events that we put on throughout the year. Thank you for being here, Brandon. Next, we have Carissa Castro, who is the co-founder of Logica. Logica is an awesome company that we'll touch on here in a little bit, and she's connected to the Maverick Venture Fund. As is Osvaldo Montalongo, who is the co-founder of Connect Care Hero and is in our Maverick Venture Fund portfolio as well. Last but not least, we have Nate Watson. He is the president of Contemporary Analysis and the founder of Hemp Batch Tracker. So thank you all of our panelists and judges for being here, spending your evening with us. Students have worked really hard and we're very proud to put them in front of you tonight. So before we begin, I would like to do a quick thank you to our sponsors. Let me share a screen here. First and foremost, we have Wells Fargo and Hush Blackwell. Wells Fargo, they have a number of small business resources, like Dr. Easley mentioned, that we use in the university. And they've been huge partners with us in the past and have enabled us to put on several events for the community and students. So we're very grateful for their partnership. Alongside Wells Fargo, we have Hush Blackwell as a premier sponsor. We work closely with them to plan our events and strategize how we can be a resource provider in the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Omaha. And they have a very vested interest in seeing the Omaha community thrive in the startup scene. Next, we have sponsors for our Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization. That's going to be Avature, Fiserv, Suitor Swans, and the Startup Collaborative, all great companies and partners that we work with throughout the year. Next, we have Logica, Carissa and Leander Castro's company. They're a visual, collaborative financial modeling platform. And it is a really cool tool, and we've invested in them in our Maverick Venture Fund. So the Maverick Venture Fund is a student-led venture capital group that meets for 3 semesters and invests in local community and alumni startups, as well as student startups. Next, we have Connect Care Hero. It is a platform for assisted senior living care facilities to help manage the activities of the patients and stay connected with their family. And he's based out of Chicago right now, and he's currently in the TechStars program. Again, last but not least, we have Contemporary Analysis. CAN for short is a data science. They're the data science experts and consultants in Omaha, and they do a ton for our community around the entrepreneurial ecosystem, as well as data science and teaching our youth.
Your dog was in an accident. Fortunately, they survived, but you're posed with a really tough decision on what to do, as they can't move their back legs. Think no further. My name is Maggie Ramos, and I am the founder behind Waggy's Blankets. Blankets, such as this one, will be introduced into the metro area into local pet stores with the concept of normalizing care for disabilities, for animals with disabilities. These blankets will depict animals with a variety of disabilities to give representation to all of our furry friends. Unfortunately, many of us who are thrown into these situations may not be able to obtain the cost of accessibility tools, which can begin upwards of $4,000. As a dog owner myself and owner of my own dog business, I know firsthand all the love and compassion that goes into caring for an animal, which is why I plan to donate part of the proceeds to Gunner's Wheels, which is an organization that helps families obtain some of the costs so that they can provide for their animals and continue homing them. Once we expand, we hope to step into customized blankets, and as there are no other products like it in the market right now, we hope to set the price at $24.99. I ask that you today help me help the animals. Thank you.
Maggie, what does the blanket do? Yes.
The blanket, aside from comfort for your animal, will help give money to Gunner's Wheels, again, which is an association that will help families who are unable to take on that cost of homing their animal. Will give them accessibility tools so that they're able to continue homing their animal.
Maggie, have you already gotten this out to potentially people to use? How many people are using it today, and how do you plan to kind of get it out to more people?
Definitely. I plan to work with the Nebraska Humane Society for funding on this product and as well as notoriety. And I hope to enter it into local markets and local pet stores around the area, just so it's not so commercial at first. Hopefully expanding into that commercialized concept at a later time, but just to get the ground rolling and, feet off the ground, I would like to stay local as of right now.
Maggie, I have a question.
Yes.
The business aspect of it, how much have you done in sale already?
I have not produced any of the product right now. This is just a prototype, but I would expect to make approximately 10,000 blankets to begin with.
How did you come up with that number, 10,000?
Looking at markets and just seeing the care for people that they give to their animals and knowing how popular dog items are, especially in smaller markets, which people really focus on, caring for their animals, and clothing lines are particularly interesting with the market as well. I picked 10,000 because I feel like it's an appropriate amount to distribute across the market and across stores equally, as well as give me some time to see where that takes us.
Imagine being stuck with someone 24/7, unable to leave and get a break. Some of you may have been in this situation during this pandemic, and it's not easy. Thankfully for us, everything should go back to normal soon, or at least we hope. However, this isn't the case for parents who have children with disabilities. They have no means of getting a break from their children because there aren't many qualified or trusted sitters out there. These parents have done everything they can to find a sitter, but can't trust that the people they find are qualified enough because the average person just doesn't understand the needs of these children. The fear of the worst happening to their child is what causes these parents distrust of anyone watching them outside of their social circle. The solution to this problem is A&B Sitters, which will be a multi-sided website used by parents and caregivers. Individuals who wish to become caregivers can apply online and list their prior experiences. They will be reviewed as well as background checked before even being considered for a match. Parents seeking a caregiver can sign up and input what needs they wish to be met, as well as information that is relevant to their child. A&B Sitters can review this information and set up a match, and both sides will meet up before providing services, ensuring the right fit is made and easing the pain many parents are facing, while providing them with the sense of trust that their child will be well taken care of. No longer will these parents have to miss out on time for themselves or constantly worry about their child in a stranger's hands. Join me in helping these parents find qualified, trustworthy caregivers for their children and getting the break they deserve.
No, really good. I liked it. Question: where are you in your journey right now?
So right now I am creating a prototype. I'm kind of on that stage right now. I've done a lot of market research on it, so it's definitely a need.
Okay. Have you validated with any customers? Have you done that? How have you done that?
Yeah, so actually I have two brothers with special needs, so this is a pain point, very personal. I'm actually also a care provider for a company in Lincoln called Abled. And so they work with state funds. I would not be working with that, but they have found that, I have to babysit my own brother because they can't find anyone that can actually provide the services in our area. And so, and I've talked with them and they said that they've done, tried marketing and stuff, but they can't find caregivers unless the family itself has someone that's willing to babysit. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's one of my questions is you said that they can't find caregivers. How are you going to find caregivers? And are you thinking about training individuals who are interested?
Yeah, so I'm looking at mainly like college students, CNAs, or like college students in the special needs education fields that are, or even just people with experience like me. And then, like I said, going through, seeing what their experiences are and validating that experience. Right now, I don't have training, but obviously in the future, I'm wanting to add training, my own personal training that can make sure that they know how to do feeding tubes, things like that. But with every special needs that is different right now, I wouldn't have the training materials all set up right now.
Okay, and then we have some few type of business out there. So how do you plan on differentiating yourself from those? Because those are the competition. They know what they're doing. They have a trained personnel. So how are you planning on different? Why do I pick yours as compared to them?
Yeah, so a lot of people, think my competitors are like care.com, other online companies. They do a lot of different areas, so they don't focus specifically on special needs. I did get a survey response. I don't have it pulled up right now, but an individual did try one of those services and they don't validate any of the information. So whatever the caregiver says that they have the skills of is kind of just up in the air, like if you can trust them. And so they had a really poor experience because they had reached out to care.com and they were just like, well, you're going to have to do it on your own. And so the other competitor I have is, like I said, state funding. So like Able, the company I work for. But I'm going with kids under the age of 21 because you aren't able to actually get funding from the state in Nebraska until you are 21. So my brother's a different case because he was on a different thing and then the laws changed. So he's an exception. But otherwise there is no like state funding or anything for these kids if they're under 21. So that's my target market. And then there is a company in Texas called Spectrum Sitters that is doing something very similar, but they haven't I haven't seen any updates that they would be expanding to the Midwest. So
imagine that you have a disability and you don't feel comfortable going to a fitness center because your unique needs are not met. You're likely to avoid the gym and suffer the physical and emotional consequences. This is a common problem with people with the special needs because most fitness centers are not structured or staffed to meet the needs of this population. People with disabilities are at increased risk for obesity, as well as more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and social isolation. In the United States alone, 48.9 million people have at least one form of disability. Hi, I'm Mazen Rahbi. I'm the founder of Spirit Fitness Center. Let's create an environment where clients can exercise, socialize, and learn together. We have a trained staff making sure to teach and monitor the disabled about the healthy choices and behaviors, principles of exercise, and a proper nutrition. Also, we offer individual and small group coaching and trainings for those who might need more personal assistance. My goal is to join the insurance companies to pay an annual membership to break down the barriers that keep people with disabilities from being active by offering an inclusive fitness environment designed to meet the needs of this population. I'm asking for $50,000 to start up the Spirit Fitness Center. Please join me to start helping 37% of Nebraska population who have disabilities to experience a better life. Thank you.
Question. Can you explain your business model? What's your business model? How do you look to, are you B2B or you're working with insurance? Can you explain a little bit more?
So actually, I have a gym. So I'm gonna partner with the health insurance companies. So asking them to pay like an annual membership for their like disabled clients. Also, we offer a monthly payment, like a monthly membership costing around $60. So this is like our the revenue model for my business.
Got it. Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, so you have two. You have one that's kind of B2C to the consumer, and then one that's B2B through the insurer, basically.
Yeah.
Got it.
So my question also is, being disabled required special kind of equipment. How do you plan on providing that and make sure the safety? Because, you know, when you talk about disability, there's some liability over there too. So how are you planning on making sure the equipment is appropriate for those disabled patients?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna design the Spirit Fitness Center. Sorry. So I'm gonna design it like to meet the safety for those people. You know, like there's some like equipment in the normal gyms, like the disabled student, they cannot use it like alone, so they need more like people to help them. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna provide like an equipment so they can use them like alone without any people like to monitor them. Also, we have like a skilled staff like who's like always trying to check in like on those people if they need any if they need more personal assistance during their exercises.
I was going to ask, just seeing how this would scale, you currently have your own gym where you would deploy this, but beyond that, would you plan to retrofit other gyms or have this as a section of a gym where there is an abled section and then a section where you would have this sort of fitness center? How do you plan to like build this out, I guess, is my question.
So actually, I'm going to start this gym. It's only for disabilities. So it's not a place only for exercise. It's a place they can socialize. This place they can learn something new. So this is my idea for this business. Yeah, learn, exercise, and socialize.
The internet has made it effortless to find healthcare advice, opinions, support, and information online. Social media here plays a supporting role by transferring such content between people instantly. However, the healthcare content on this online social media do not go through the same rigorous editing and review process of medical literature. This results in a lot of fake news, unproven treatments, unscientific facts being posted on such websites. To counter that, my startup provides a free web platform that collects information from multiple open sources like Twitter, Facebook, News API, and Reddit, and using modern machine learning techniques and human intervention, extracts high-quality personalized information to support patients, caregivers, and clinicians in post-diagnosis care. We realize how important it is to make sure that everyone has access to reliable information at the right time and the right way. We are a nonprofit organization and we do not plan to charge anything to use our services from our users. We have already been awarded $6,000 by UNMC to develop this project, and we keep on raising funds via research grants. Thank you.
Vibhav, you had mentioned that one of the issues is that social media is kind of leading to fake news. How are you going to keep the fake news out of your app?
So we are using machine learning techniques to filter out much of the information, and then by using human intervention, we will filter out the rest of the content that hosts fake news. By fake news, I mean like unproven treatments. So like there are medical and non-medical news. So for non-medical news, like something is better than others. So like a hot bottle inside your head after a chemo treatment is better than a volcanic ash headband.
So how are you planning? Are you working with the hospital? How are you getting information and the right kind of information to put out there to make sure it's the right healthcare advice, as you say?
So we have two sources of information. One is individual accounts from social media, like those have a large amount of following and have been posting individual contents from their own treatment of cancer. And then we have organizational accounts like Mayo Clinic and patients like me that regularly post such information online. So we will filter out from those contents.
I have one. So what's the difference between kind of using what you're doing from a social, scraping from social media and all these using your technology versus going to like a WebMD, right? For something, from a medical standpoint. Yeah. What's the difference there?
That's a very valid question. WebMD is one of our competitions. So WebMD usually hosts a very scientific information. So a patient who's just diagnosed of cancer is not going to scrape through pages of WebMD or what research he has done. Also, the content is not going to be very personalized. So what we possess is the similar quality to WebMD, but the content's going to be more personalized towards their own needs.
The average American spends $230 on Christmas decor each year. Even more shocking, $4.62 billion was spent last year on college licensed merchandise. With all these Benjamins just being thrown around, it's a shame that this is the best that they could come up with. My name is Justin, and my startup Chim will create a line of premium Christmas stockings with trendy designs, which will help students and alumni show off their school allegiance and give them something they'll be proud to put on the fireplace this year. My goal is to secure this channel by being first to market with a product like this. I'll start by partnering with high schools in my local area, such as Plattsmouth, where I graduated, and UNO, go Mavs, in order to establish a proof of concept before scaling nationwide. Upon research, I learned the brand approval process and the 12% royalty that exists at most schools. My target market will include female students, alumna, and their parents. And I plan to target them via peer-to-peer marketing and social media marketing with the idea to stay out of school stores in order to maximize margins. Without other forms of intellectual property protection, my strategy is to be first to market and establish a compelling brand feeling that symbolizes both quality and trendiness, similar to Love Your Melon. Looking long-term, Chim will be a premium brand rather than one product, and I'll expand my product line in the future to include products such as scarves and bracelets. So, help me deck the hell out of the halls this year by investing in my startup, Chim.
Hey, Justin, why stockings first?
So, good question. It's kind of a personal thing. So, about a year ago, I was looking at Christmas stockings for a big UNL fan, and I was pretty, upset with what I found. Going back to this was the best that they could do, right? It just looks like something that's drop shipped from China, really cheaply made. So I wanted to introduce something a little more exciting. Got some cooler designs going on, and something that you'd really be proud, once again, to hang on your fireplace.
So what are your sales right now, your sale goal, and then how are you investing in getting the production going?
Great question. So looking at where I'm at right now, I'm actually going back to this. This is, I guess, my prototype, if you will. I'm in talks with a gal that's in the collegiate apparel space that has experience in what it takes to get a branded item, approved and go through all the hoops involved. And so I'm in the process of getting something manufactured or stitched as a prototype that I can take to a manufacturer, because my connection gave me a couple different manufacturers based out of Austin, Minnesota, Chicago, and Salt Lake City. So I'll start going to manufacturers, seeing how much it would cost and what kind of materials we can use. So that's kind of where I'm at currently. And this money would help me through that process of getting 50 to 100 units.
So there's no sale?
No, not currently, no.
Okay.
Quick question, or a quick, so what would the cost look like? What would you sell it for? What would a licensing deal look like as well? Since obviously you'll be using, some type of university logo on the thing. So.
Yep, sure. That's a great question. So once again, I'm kind of basing this off of, once I get some more concrete numbers from manufacturers, then that'll kind of help me pinpoint my ideal price point. But at the moment, I'm kind of basing it similar off of Love Your Melon, which go for around $40 to $50. Those are knitted hats, premium hat maker. So it'd be right around that price point. If the manufacturing cost is significantly lower than that, I would consider bumping my price down to somewhere around $30. So that kind of a better idea on that. And was there another question in there?
Yeah, just the license deal. Obviously, put that into your cost. You would have to work with universities or the schools to obviously put their logo on them. But anyways, I think you helped me answer that. So. Yep.
And to reiterate, it ranges from about an 8% royalty to about a 12% royalty based on the school. Most colleges are going to right around that 12% royalty, whereas high schools you can get in with a lower royalty, right around that 8% mark.
So my question is around high schools. Have you talked to Plattsmouth? I mean, have they, because obviously the high schools don't get this kind of stuff. UNL, you might be able to track down something, but you're not going to get something for West Side or whatever.
Correct.
Do they have royalty agreements out there? Do they know anything about what you're talking about when you go and ask them, or are they clueless?
Yep. So at the moment, I have a business teacher that used to go to Plattsmouth, who I've been kind of working it on. And once I get something more presentable and more concrete and physical prototype, I plan on taking that to them on utilizing my alumni status there. I'm actually in the Student Hall of Fame there. So they like me there. So I'm hoping to leverage that to get in and really show, how excited I am about this and get all the soccer moms, all the football moms, any sports, get them buying these products, which will ultimately, a percentage of that will support the school or the sporting organization involved.
The average person routinely wears only 20% of the clothes in their closet, leaving the majority unutilized and taking up space. From the fashion forward to those who value comfort first, everyone can benefit from a wardrobe assistant. Hi, my name is Joe Benamo, and my innovation is Moda. Moda is a virtual closet that allows users to catalog what they wear while also making note of what they don't. Users can create a full virtual inventory of their closet by either scanning their clothing's barcode or putting the information in manually. Once this clothing information is in the system, users can mix and match their clothing to generate outfits and even receive automatic outfit suggestions to make the most of what they currently have. Users can share this information with other users in the app and track what they've been wearing. When certain clothing items haven't been worn in a number of months, the application will actually alert users of local organizations in which they can donate the unused clothing to. This application aims to be as intuitive as possible, improving a user's ability to plan their attire while also getting unused clothing to those who need it the most. This application will be free as well to maximize accessibility and inspire people to donate more. We also plan to generate a database of what people are actually wearing within the application in hopes to license that information to clothing retailers. We're currently looking for $25,000 for a developer that can generate an application and accompanying database. With your help, everyone can do more with less. Thank you.
So you said it was free.
Right.
Are you going to then just make money off of the licensed database? And how do you get there? Because it's going to take some time to get there.
That's right. So before we can get there, I have had plans of running in-application advertisements and even the potential of adding affiliate linking to websites that sell clothing. So let's say that you have a gap in your wardrobe and you get an outfit suggestion that says you need a black shirt or you need a pair of pants. We would actually link to websites that offer that through affiliate linking and take a portion of the profits from that.
Joe, yeah, I have a question. I mean, great idea. I like it. What is there a market for it? I mean, how have you validated this? I mean, it seems like a good idea, but sometimes when you're like, I need clothing, I'll just go buy some and just, So have you validated this idea?
Yeah. So from my classes, I've done some market research and I've seen some other applications. There are lots of applications, but most of them are catered to a female-centric market, things like Style Sense and Lookastic. But there is a market for people that are looking to optimize their wardrobe, but not a lot of them focus on the aspect of donating the clothing as well. Most of them are looking to get people more clothing, more to add to their wardrobe. But seeing that people use so little, it'd be nice to find a way to donate the rest, the 80% that doesn't get used. So there is a market, but I want to try and pivot and attack the side that could be better used by donating clothing and optimizing what you currently have instead of having to buy more.
Joe, kind of following up on that, what are your plans or do you have any for that side of the market, accepting donations, directing people to thrift shops to make money off the unused goods, something like that?
So with that, yeah, I'm looking to use kind of location data to find where people are and then find places in proximity that would best benefit from that type of clothing, places like Goodwill, Salvation Armies, even drop boxes you find in front of stores and gas stations where you can drop your clothes. It won't be incredibly intuitive at the start, but it'll just kind of show people that these are resources in their community, and they can do more with their clothing than just let them collect dust in their closet.
And how did your business aspect come of it? Because you have to just make money somehow, right?
To start off, it will be kind of through just pay-per-click advertisement banners within the application, and affiliate linking. But hopefully, if we do generate enough business and enough user data, it will almost become an analytics app, being able to sell that data to clothing retailers, so then they know people are wearing this, maybe we should stock our storefront with this, and it's a constant updating database. So people may pay a good amount of money for that.
Hi, I'm Anna Newby, an undergraduate in the IT Innovation Program, and my app, the Hobbyist Toolbox, helps gaming hobbyists elevate their gameplay. These hobbyists play trading card games, board games, and role-playing games. One doesn't have to participate in these games to understand the value that digital assisting has in everyday life. Think about it. You most certainly have apps for budgeting, travel planning, and navigating. Why not bring this idea to gaming? The gaming industry is booming, especially in these COVID times. The app exhibits multiple features called tools in a toolbox, and currently there are 5: a life tracker, dice roller, deck tracker, rule lookup, and board game inventory tracker. The idea is that a hobbyist refers to the Hobbyist Toolbox app for all of their gaming needs, rather than rotating through a handful of different applications, clunky user interfaces, and user accounts. The app uses the freemium business model. Users can pay to remove ads and to upgrade the free features to their premium versions. There are no true competitors, as there are no other apps that strive to be a toolbox for gaming. The problem I am addressing here is that all other apps on the market stick to 1 to 2 features or are confined to just one hobby. This is unfortunate, as most hobbyists participate in upwards of 6 different hobbies, so their identity as a hobbyist is spread across multiple apps, providing a disjointed solution. Finally, this app has extreme growth potential. There is no need to stop at these 5 features. It can continue to grow and expand as funding and interest increases. Thank you.
I'll start. So with the hobby space, digital space, what's you say there's no one in the space. So why is that? I mean, is there a reason for that?
I would say there are people in the space in general, but there's nobody who has jumped from let me get one feature done really well, do one app really well. Nobody's jumped from that to let's do 5 really well. And I would say that's probably just because that's how it's always been. It's just always one feature, one app.
And to that point, is there a way to integrate? Would you be able to integrate with the other ones that are already being used, right? So you already have those user bases into this one, right? Or are you trying to attract new people just into your all-in-one platform?
Certainly, yes. Most of my users are people I'm trying to pull. These people already play and use these apps. That's my market. So 2 of my features are actually, going to be using APIs, so already existing things.
So quick clarification. So if I follow, it's like the idea that a person that might be playing multiple different games, it's kind of a central place for them. Is that correct?
Exactly.
So then why the focus on hobbyists as opposed to like people that would be like, doing it more often, that are, competitively, like people that would be doing it all the time?
Right. That might come down to a poor choice of words. I'm trying to, it's these games that traditionally, people might be calling nerds. And I'm trying to come up with a different word for that because that's not what we're going for. But yes, it would be anybody from casual 12-year-old gamers to the competitive middle-aged people to some of my friends who are in their 60s who are going to be playing this too.
So understand, are you creating those games or are you just pulling the game together?
Yes, it's not a game. It's a digital thing on your phone to supplement a physical game. Like if you've heard of a game called Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, board games like Catan. So you're playing those games and then your phone is helping you with that game.
I may have to dig out my 300 or 400 card Magic set here in a minute. Welcome to the 90s again. So you have beta users then? You have people that are on this using it, giving you feedback, and what's their initial thoughts?
So I am in the medium fidelity prototyping phase. I'm moving into formal user testing in the next few weeks, actually. But, talking to my friends, doing in-depth ethnographic interviews, I've found it's generally accepted. Like, this is something I'd want to use. This is really exciting. Just hobbying is in these games are part of people's identity. And knowing I can just grab this toolbox of tools to just add to that is just really exciting. And I think a lot of people are seeing that value.
All around the world, computer science languages are globally catered towards English speakers. This means that there are limited educational resources for Spanish-speaking students to learn even the basics of computer science. My name is Caitlin Baisa, and my solution is Activite. Activite is incorporating technology and Spanish into one computer science educational website for students in late elementary to middle school grades. It will provide learning modules with everything written in Spanish from the lessons to the activities. This website serves as an entry point for these students who are normally left behind, and it gives them material in their native language. But Activite also sets them on the path towards English-based programming in the future. It's a not-for-profit website so that all students are able to access this equitable education. It will be funded through grants and sponsorships from larger tech organizations. For example, Google has initiatives and funds ready to help projects like mine increase diversity within technology. After receiving feedback from faculty at UNO, I realized that this website can be utilized not only on UNO's website, but for different organizations and programs as well. Activite's main mission is to empower Spanish-speaking students by activating learning, creativity, and confidence in the next generation of technologists. Thank you.
Any idea where you're starting with are you teaching .NET or Java, or what are you teaching technological wise?
Yeah, so it's going to be using Scratch programming, which is code block-based. And so Scratch already has code based in Spanish. So this will be supplemental to give them activities. It gives them the platform to code, but it doesn't tell them how to use it or any of the ideas behind like loops and concepts like that.
So for a non-technical person, would coding in Spanish and mixing it with English code, what does that do?
So right now, the hardest part is to just introduce these kids to this new concept of computer science. So to add, English, which maybe they're not super well versed in, it adds 2 levels of them just giving up, right? And so now we see this lack of diversity as you go up the ladder. So by introducing just Spanish computer science concepts, they'll be able to learn the concepts, and then later on through schooling, they'll be, getting more acquainted with English and then move to computer science in English.
So are you actually creating the content more like a program that they would go through that would teach them the concepts, but all in Spanish?
Yes.
Is that correct? And so would you be partnering, I love this, by the way, so a great idea. Do you plan to partner more directly with schools, or have it be more like targeting, extracurricular, like parents? Like, how do you kind of plan to roll it out?
So in general, the answer is all of the above. At UNO, we have a program called iSTEM, and we realized that, with schools moving to more online, these students may not have the resources that they need. So that's one way. Parents always love, summer educational activities that help their students. But there's also a growing dual language program all around the world. And so this could be utilized, within schools or community organizations or just in home.
Great idea. And are you going to be the only one teaching, or you're going to have people working?
So personally, I found that these Spanish-based programs that exist already are kind of like the second hand, they get passed down from what was made in English. So my goal is to hire people who are native Spanish speakers and are in industry so they can have representation for these students.
Imagine you're hosting a private event and you need to find a musician to make it more memorable. How would you begin your search? Simply Googling musicians in Omaha will result in a huge hit or a big miss. There are currently no effective ways to locate and hire reputable musicians, and it's even worse for musicians who have often the time and the talent, but they are not being seen or discovered. There are millions of gigs each year that are potentially not being matched with the best musician. Hi, my name is Edward, and I have the solution to this problem. Music Ringer is a web application with a database of worldwide musicians. Potential clients can view experienced musicians before hiring and paying for their service. Musicians from all over can subscribe to being a part of this community for $60 a year. Our mission is to connect musicians with the world and allow them to become more discoverable and successful. Even for our musicians who like to only gig on the weekends, our services will allow musicians to show their availability through a built-in calendar. Any musician can flourish at the rate they wish or desire, even if it's for an online Zoom concert or a small private event. As this idea gains traction in the marketplace, we intend to expand to other vendors such as photographers, caterers, florists, and graphic designers. Thank you so much for listening, and hopefully Music Ringer strikes a chord with you.
So how are you going to get people on this platform initially so that people can use it? Like the slug of people that have to be on here for people to really want to use it. How do you gather those individuals?
So right now there is a huge musician community, but they're all scattered throughout social media at this time. I do have a lot of interest from musicians. The website is already up, and the musicians that are on the database right now are by invitation only. I have 15 musicians on there now, and they're just testing out the bugs, giving me validation as far as what they like, what they don't like. Once that's done, I'm going to invite the other musicians throughout the community and hope to spread the word.
And how do you capitalize on this?
Right now, the application is free. So with the competitors, I don't want to take money away from the musicians. The idea is to be able to help them make money and actually profit from their passion. Once we're at a point where I feel that this application will serve a huge purpose for their passion, then I will start charging $60 per year for the subscription.
Actually, so I actually think you shouldn't charge. It should be do your passion, take a cut of that, and just keep that going. Because one of the biggest things, especially in this space, is that it's kind of this whole bringing value to them. So I think just doing what you're doing now is a good model to follow. It's just my 2 cents. But how many you have on your platform right now? You said 15.
Currently 15, yes.
15. And so how has COVID? What has COVID done to your business right now?
Once COVID hit, I honestly was a little worried. But then after a lot of thought and actually sending out the same surveys to the other musicians, it actually worked in my favor. My competitors, a lot of musicians were paying $300 to $500 just to be on the other platforms. And a lot of the musicians were getting hits from clients, and they were asking for quotes as far as how much they would cost. And then they wouldn't hear from the clients ever again. So as the musicians are pulling off of those websites because they're losing money because the events have gone down, a lot of musicians have been offering their own online concerts and have actually been performing at certain weddings and events with social distancing. So this is a great time for them to hop over to my side, especially now that it's free. And then as we'll grow together, I mentioned the community because I want the musicians to help each other, to lean on each other and help each other out. Musicians right now, when they get their degrees, they just learn how to perform and how to sharpen their tools. They're not learning how to be a small business. They're not learning how to network. They're not learning how to communicate. The idea is for this community to help each other out, and that's something that other businesses do not offer.
The graduation rate at UNO is 44%. The main reason students drop out across the country is due to lack of support, both familial and financial. Students have difficulty accessing resources. Oftentimes, they don't even know about the resources that are in place to best serve them. My name is Veronica Chapman, and the solution to this ongoing problem is NET. NET is an AI solution that connects you to your university's resources. NET streamlines your network. Instead of spending time trying to find resources online, You'll instead send a simple text and be directed to your support and resources. By using NET, you receive relevant information and care quickly and discreetly straight to your device. Additionally, you can develop an action plan to fully utilize resources on campus. NET is equipped with handling a variety of issues, from time management, mental health, to financial stress. These issues are not unique to my university. The technology behind NET is scalable to different colleges, facilities, and corporations alike. By adopting the NET AI system, universities will be able to improve student well-being while increasing graduation rates. The next steps for NET include developing a beta version with a team of motivated UNO students and then licensing of the product from the University of Nebraska system. With over 19 million college students in the U.S. and that number only growing, the opportunities of growth for NET are endless. Thank you.
Veronica, so you mentioned you text, you receive some information. What offerings, what solutions or assistance do you do? Are you focusing on certain areas?
Yeah, so with that, most university systems have a wide variety of resources on campus, with like the Maverick Food Pantry to Alcoholics Anonymous to Women's Resource Center. But it's very difficult for these students to take action of actually receiving these resources because inability to communicate it effectively oftentimes. So by sending a text, by just spacing out very simply what you're looking for, then we'll be able to go into a database with information that the university is storing over resources to directly give it to you so you can best handle your situation.
How have you tested out the idea so far? Because did you say you were still needing to build a prototype? How have you gotten kind of feedback from other students on how they'd receive it?
Yeah, so right now we're in the very primary stages of NET, and so a prototype has not yet begun to be developed, but through word of mouth and different surveys I've done with classes on this subject, and additionally just through faculty members I've contacted, this is something that we believe that students will take very much use of, just because oftentimes communication is such a barrier with kids wanting to reach out to counseling, whereas counseling is only available by scheduling through phone calls at UNO, for example. And so by taking away these barriers, kids are going to be more likely to take a positive effect to make sure that they're putting themselves first so they can also put their education first.
Applying to medical school has many requirements. Among them, shadowing is critical to student success and is largely done independently by students. This process, however, is based on old boy networks and connections of families, as the best advice you'll ever get is to, quote, use your connections. Hi, my name is Elias Smith, and I think this is unfair. The solution then is Healthy Shadow, an online service that connects hopeful pre-health students to physicians. It shows students local physicians open to shadowing and allows students to reach out to them directly. Healthy Shadow stands apart as it offers or puts the power of applying or in obtaining shadowing hours in the hands of students, something that hasn't happened in the past. It allows students to reduce the struggle and unknown of trying to find their way into the medical field, saving them time and stress. Healthy Shadow will be licensed to hospitals, allowing it to be provided to students for free. This not only increases the accessibility of it to students, but also reduces defragments the market, as there are a small number of hospitals in most cities. Hospitals want to continue to have better and more diverse physicians. And there are 1.2 million pre-health and biomedical science majors enrolled each year. So it's crucial for students to have better access to physician shadowing.
Hey, I have a question. So right now, besides obviously the whole, use your network approach, right? What's the current solution? I mean, I know some like hospitals have their own internal kind of HR or some intern program, right? Like, who's out there?
Yeah, so most hospitals don't offer physician shadowing through a service, and other independent programs don't exist. UNMC has a program. It allows students to apply once per year. And when I applied initially my freshman year, I was rejected. And then when I did, it took over 3 months to get the chance. And students need multiple opportunities to shadow. And so it's just, there's no avenues for students to reach it without connections.
You thought through the application that you're going to have to build for this. You talked about just connecting doctors to kids that want to do it, but it has to be more like a dating app than just a connection app.
Yeah, so there will need need to be in place certain things. Hospitals will want students to be HIPAA certified, meaning they won't release any sensitive information and other things like that. So it will need to incorporate the ability for those students to have access to that training, which could be fairly simple within the app. And there'll be more potential for students to either upload personal resumes, but information about themselves so that doctors can know who's trying to reach out to them and evaluate students in that way and form a connection. So.
It was a close contest. There were a lot of pitches that made it into consideration for the top 3. So everybody should be very proud of the job that they did. Okay, so judges, will you help me? Usually this works easily and very well in person, but can I get everybody to unmute and give us a little drum roll? Yeah, this sounds all right. For second runner-up and third place, we have, drum roll please, Justin Krug with Chim. Congratulations, Justin. You are the winner of $100. I'm going to invite you as a panelist so you can show everyone your smiling face. And then in second place, first runner-up, we have Edward Whittle with Music Ringer. Nice job, Edward. You win $250 for your idea.
Great job, Edward.
Very impressive, both of you. And then last, but not least, certainly not least, we have our winner for today is Caitlin Besa with Activite. Nice job, Caitlin.
Amazing. Great job.
Good job, guys.
You're the proud winner of $500. Everybody that attended and competed, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all your hard work and effort in this. Those of you who did not place in the top 3, you should be proud of how far you made it and what you did. This is a great exercise to go through as a student or an entrepreneur. And if you are looking to further your idea, we would love to talk to you. We have a number of resources that we use to help student entrepreneurs particularly. One of them is called the Maverick Venture Fund, where we award real money, we invest real money into student startups. So I would love to talk to you if that sounds interesting. Judges, thank you so much for being here tonight. We will let Dr. Easley have the last word in a second. We really appreciate your time with us and all the support you've shown us throughout the year, through your organizations and through your personal help and friendship. So thank you. Dr. Easley?
I want to say 2 things. One, first, very much thank you to the judges. They took a lot of time, and it's not easy, and it's not a perfect system. But the cream did rise to the top, and we heard some really good ideas. What I'd like to say to all the contestants is that we've had students who've lost pitch contests for multiple years, and then they come back, they persevere if they have a passion about it, and they perform. And I just want all of you to know, if you have a true interest in the idea you pitched tonight, you are not a loser. And we are here to support you. As Levi mentioned, we have funds available to literally support you if you want to pursue your vision. And I am torn. We heard so many good pitches, and you never know which one truly is the one that can go forward. It mostly depends not on the idea, but on you and what you want to do with it. And if you want to take it further, it will go further. And I hope that for those of you who care about your idea and want to see it happen, you'll make it.
Excellent. So that concludes our 2020 Big Idea Pitch Contest, the 11th annual of its kind at UNO.